Have you ever felt like your mind is a labyrinth? Regrets about the past, worries about the future, thoughts that keep spinning. You can't stay calm, you can't sleep well. That's exactly how Mason was. A 19-year-old young man filled with restlessness, until he heard about a wise man living beyond the mountains. This wise man was once a renowned psychologist. He had taught thousands how to find peace. Now he lived quietly in nature. Mason found him and said, "Sir, my mind is restless. Can you help me?" The old man gave him a glass filled with water. Walk around the village without spilling a drop. What did this simple task teach Mason? Can you find the same peace? Let's discover Mason's journey together. Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by mountains, there lived a young man named Mason, who was 19 years old. Mason had become very restless. His mind had been filled with thoughts for days. Disturbing thoughts were coming and going, and these thoughts were making him feel very bad and tired. He had been feeling sad and tired about his past for days, and because of these thoughts, he was very scared and worried about his future. His mind was like a labyrinth. He couldn't be calm and well. He couldn't sleep well, and he had even forgotten how to smile. One day, Mason heard people talking about a distant town behind the mountains. People said that a wise old man lived there. This man had been a professor of psychology in the city. He had helped many people in his life and taught them how to find peace in their minds. He had gradually grown older. He had left the busy life of the city and started living in a quiet, peaceful town close to nature. Sometimes he had visitors, and he would give advice to these visitors. Mason had become curious and excited. He had decided that he needed to go and meet that old man. Perhaps this wise man can help me find peace, he was thinking. After a long and tiring journey, Mason had approached the town in the mountains. When he arrived there, he saw a small house. The old man was sitting quietly on the porch of the house, covered with greenery. His eyes were closed, and he looked very peaceful and calm. Mason came to him and said in a soft voice, "Sir, my mind is very restless. I can't let go of my thoughts. I want peace in my heart and mind. Can you help me?" The old man slowly opened his eyes and smiled calmly. "So, you're looking for peace. Come with me. I'll give you a small task," he said. He took Mason to his small courtyard and filled a glass to the brim with water. The glass was so full that even the slightest shake would spill the water. He gave the glass to Mason and said, "Walk from here to the edge of the village and then come back. But remember, return without wasting even a single drop of water." Mason looked at him with surprise, but he wanted to do his best, so he accepted the challenge. He held the glass carefully and started walking. The road was narrow and crowded. Some were walking, some were running. Shop owners were calling for customers, and dogs were barking, but Mason didn't look around. His eyes remained only on the glass. He walked slowly and carefully, step by step. People looked at him with surprise, but no one bothered him. They knew he was learning something important. Finally, Mason returned to the old man and said, "Sir, I did it. I didn't waste even a single drop of water." The old man nodded and smiled. Then he asked, "That's good. But tell me, did you see the children playing by the roadside? Did you hear the dogs barking?" Mason said with confusion. "No, I didn't see or hear anything. I was only focused on the glass." The old man smiled again and said gently, "This was a secret that has always existed within you, but you didn't know it. When the mind stays in the present moment, there is no room for fear, no confusion, and no excess thoughts. In that moment, you were only thinking about the water in the glass. Your mind became completely silent. You weren't sad about the past. You weren't afraid of the future." Mason slowly began to understand that this was the peace he had been looking for. Peace is not something that appears outside. When we live in the present moment, peace is already within us. Mason bowed his head and said in a soft voice, "Sir, I understand now. If I want to calm my mind, I must keep my mind in this moment, and only then will true peace come." The old man smiled again. The sun was setting, and the last light touched the ground. Birds were flying to their nests. Mason started walking home, but he was no longer the same young man with a restless heart and mind. He had changed. He was now peaceful and happy inside because he knew how to manage his mind. If you liked the story, please like it and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories like this. Thank you for staying with us. Until we meet again in the next story with new thoughts and new lessons. Until then, stay healthy and peaceful.